Hello everybody, it's Stefan Joubert here from the Stefan Joubert Guitar Academy. In today's video lesson, I'm going to take a look at a favorite jazz standard called Autumn Leaves. I'll just play the chord melody first, and then we'll take a look at the analysis on the first 8 bars of Autumn Leaves, utilizing scales as well as the Martino method, and see how we can approach that song. It's in the key of E minor. I'm playing it in the key of E minor. The first chord is going to be the A minor chord. So it starts on the 4th chord of E minor. So let me just start with the chord melody. So the Autumn Leaves starts in the key of E, on the 4th chord, on the A minor 7. And that chord then moves to, and I will analyze that as a 4 minor, to the D7, which I analyze as 5/7 of flattened 3rd. And it goes to G major 7th, which is the flat 3 in the key of E minor, also known as the relative minor. C major 7, which is the flat 6 in the key of E minor. Then we've got F sharp minor 7 flat 5. That's the 2 minor 7th. They say B7 flat 9, or sometimes they've got a flat 13 as well. And that's the 5 that goes to the 1 chord, E minor. I'm playing an E minor 11th here. And then often jazz musicians like putting the E7 sharp 9 that leads back home to the A minor 7th. So that's the lay of the land with the chords. Let's look at the first chord and the scale that follows. We've got an A minor 7. We could play a Dorian scale. We've got a D7. We could play a D Mixolydian, which incidentally is the same as the A Dorian. Then we've got a G major scale. Here we could play a G Ionian. Again, same as the A Dorian. Same scale. Then go to C major 7th, which is the C Lydian. Again, the same scale as the A Dorian, and then we go to the F sharp minor 7 flat 5. On this, I would recommend playing the Locrian natural 2nd mode, also known as the natural minor with a flat 5, basically the 6th mode of the A melodic minor scale, and it goes like this. And then on the 5 chord, the B, I would be playing the super Locrian. So that goes like this. That goes back home to the E minor. And if we follow the original key, it should really be an E natural minor scale. Although this is the beauty with jazz, you could play a Dorian. Or in that case, actually I already did it. I went to the melodic minor there at the top. And then on the E7 sharp 9, I would go for the super Locrian mode again. So let's look at that. So that's basically what I would do in terms of scale approach. But on the 4 minor chord, in the A minor 7th, like we said, we could do the Dorian. But then just to show you, when you go to the D7 chord, I'm playing a D9, often you could turn that into especially during the improvisation section, into a D13 flat 9, because it's going to a G major 7th. That 13 is the third of the G major 7th. So if I play a D13 flat 9 chord, I could then be playing a Dorian with a flat 2nd scale. And note something, that Dorian, flat 2nd, which outlines that chord beautifully. If you analyze the degrees of a Dorian flat 2nd onto a D7 flat 9, you will see it's very complementary. That is the same mode as a B superlocrian. And I'm showing that to you because that is a minor third away from the B, but at the same token, later in the piece when we get to the 2-5-1, on the first 8 bars, we will use the B on the B7 sharp 5. We will use that superlocrian sound. So I'm just showing you that there are similarities inside of the piece, which is amazing. So on that second chord of the piece, you could use the Dorian flat 2. And then go to the G major 7th, play the Ionian. On the C, play the Lydian. F sharp minor 7 flat 5, as we spoke about. You could play the natural minor, F sharp natural minor with a flat 5. As we spoke about, on the B, you could play the superlocrian mode, which is the same as the Dorian flat 2 of D, and that's on the B. And then you go to the E minor. On that, you could just play the Dorian, or you can even play the natural minor. Natural minor would be more in key. And then on the E7 sharp 9, again, the superlocrian. Now let us take a look at the Pat Martino lines and how we can use those over the first 4 or first 8 bars. So we've got that A minor 7, and on that we can just play a basic Pat Martino A minor line. No problem there, that works perfectly. Then on the D, if it's just a standard D mixolydian, again we can use the A minor line, because the rule is, what is the 5th of D? It's an A. The rule is on the 5th of the dominant 7th chord in question, you play a Pat Martino line. So that all works on there, playing an A minor on the D9 chord. If I make it a D7 flat 9 or flat 13 if you like, then I could be playing a C minor line. And that will give me the Dorian flat 2 sound. Then I go to the G major 7th. On the G major 7, which is the flat 3 in the key, we will go for, we have 2 options with the major 7th, on the 2nd of the chord in question or the 6th. I'm going to go for the 2nd, so we can play an A minor line, because that's the 2nd of G, so we could be playing something like this. And then we go for the C major 7th. On the C, we're going to find the 6th of C, which is A. Outlining the Lydian sound inside of it. And then on the F sharp minor 7 flat 5, the rule is find the flat 3, so that's 3 semitones up, 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to play an A minor line. And Pat Martino, you can target minor lines in the Dorian or the melodic minor. Here we will go for the melodic minor. So I'm going for that sound on A, which in turn on F sharp brings that ninth out, da ba 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 da, the 11th out, dee da dee dee. So it's like da ba 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 dee, the ninth, da D flat 5. Brings all the flavor out inside of it. And then on that B7 sharp 9, I will be playing a C. And that gives me that super Locrian sound. On the E minor 7, I'll just play an E minor 7th. On the E7 sharp 9, I'll go a half a step up and play F minor line. So as you can see with Pat Martino's method, you've got a lot of flexibility. If you understand the rules of the game, on the A minor 7th, you can just go and play one of those A minor lines. On the D7, why not go for the C minor line? G major 7, go back to the A minor line again. C7, A minor line. F sharp minor 7 flat 5, again the A minor line, but this time make sure it's a bit of a melodic minor influence. On the B7 sharp 9, the B altered, play the C minor line on the flat 2. On the E, you play an E minor line, and then on the E7 sharp 9, just take that upper half a step to the F minor line. So there's so much that can be done with the Pat Martino method, and I hope this little lesson just shows you a bit of what can be done and what you can achieve. The nice thing with jazz is the fact that if we look at the chords, they're just going A minor, D, G major 7th, C, so it's all fourths, and then F sharp minor 7 flat 5, B7 sharp 9 flat 9, also a fourth, which is here as well, going down a fourth to the E, and then that's a fourth back to the A. So it's really a circle of fourths. So if you understand that, you can understand how all the harmonies and everything flows in together. So the great thing is with Pat Martino's method is if you combine it with the scales, the arpeggios and the licks, you can really make things work for you. So for example, on the A minor 7th, if I play the scale, and then on the D7 flat 9, again the scale, then the arpeggio on the G major 7th, and maybe another arpeggio on the C, and then the F sharp minor 7 flat 5, I could be playing a line. On the C, I could be playing a line. To the E minor, I could play a line. E7 sharp 9, why not go for an arpeggio? And so there you get it. So if you mix all these different elements together, you will be able to make a great solo out of the autumn leaves. Again, as always, thank you for listening. Please leave a comment, please leave a thumbs up, please do subscribe, and I'll look forward to speaking with you in our next video together. Goodbye. Bye-bye.